Today we're in Oklahoma City and we're here at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Sounds pretty interesting. I've driven past here before but haven't checked it out, so let's go in and see what it's all about. As we enter the museum, this kind of gives a little idea of what you might be expecting, but there's so much more. I like that sign, remove your spurs, that's pretty funny. But this end of the trail statue is pretty striking. As you come in, you see that there are things outside too. So we're going to start inside and then we're going to head outside. Once you walk in, right to the left, there's a couple of presidents here. Abe Lincoln and Ronald Reagan. You know, Lincoln was president when, you know, things were really expanding into the West, and Ronald Reagan has a history of making movies. There's a old Wells Fargo stagecoach, and we start the main part of the museum, is Finding Your West, and this is a very, I guess they call it immersive section. So you're definitely using some new technologies than you would see at a lot of museums. I talked to someone who said they're going to do more of this kind of stuff in the museum in the future. So even later this year, if you went, you might see some newer things that could be an additional cost to go in the museum. The general admission is about $25, which I found to be more than worth it. But definitely a interesting and unique way to start the museum. Museum was established in 1955. It was originally called the Cowboy Hall of Fame and Museum, eventually changed its name to its current title. And there's a lot more artwork than I expected, a lot of what you call Western artwork. And I'm not going to show even hardly a little bit of it, just a tiny showing here. There's huge rooms of tons of art and then artifacts. Western artifacts. There's something like 28,000 Western and Native American artworks and artifacts, and so it's pretty amazing. You can take the entire day if you want to really get detailed and look through the museum. I'm just, like I said, just giving you a little glimpse. I love big maps, and so this is a map showing all the different Native American tribes and generally where they were throughout the country. And like I said, just rooms full of great Western art. And when we think of the West, it's not just cowboys. There's lots of Native American stuff as well. So Prosperity Junction, this was a very amazing and incredible part. It's an old town that they've recreated. And I'm only going to show you a little bit of it here. So I actually filmed the entire place. It's about 5 minutes long, and if you go down in the description of this video, it'll link over to this entire video, and I'm just going to show you parts of it. You can see how extensive it is. I thought it might be just a couple fake building fronts, but it's way more than that.
And I could get one of those fancy purebred bulls, like old Munson's. Put in some of that humane wire and work up a herd prettier than anything in the territory.
Go sure pack on the weight, then you can protect their hides and keep them.
Good morning, ma'am. I've come to see about a loan.
Have you been here before?
No, ma'am. I used Compton Mercantile Bank till they closed up. I'm not a cattleman like the sign says, just a dirt farmer.
You didn't do as much. And we're waiting for.
Henry, mother will buy you one.
Like I said, if you want to see more, check out the video description. So this is the Great Western Performers, and I think it's called the Hall of Great Western Performers. Honors actors and movies and their role in the West. Goes from guys like Tom Selleck all the way back to some of the early days. Even highlights many of the women in Westerns. And then, of course, it has a big section about John Wayne, probably the biggest star of that era, and all of the different movies that he made throughout his career. And then some more obscure movies. Next up is the section about the rodeo. And so this is home to the National Rodeo Hall of Fame. And it's very unique how they set it up. You feel like you're part of a rodeo. It goes through all the different events that they do in rodeo, some of the top performers in history in those sections. So it's really well done and interesting way to look at it. They have a big room here about the military in the West, which was a significant part of the West. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me go to different forts and different historical places where the military would have been a big part of that. So then we head outside. Like I said, I just showed you a little bit of what's inside the museum. There is so much more, but they have quite a bit outside as well. Start with the old covered wagon, and it's like playing the Oregon Trail. What would you pack in your wagon? Obviously, everything here is recreated, and they give a sense of what things might have been like. Some of it is very extensively done. You have something like the trading post there, and then a little native community here, which is very well done. If it was an art project, it'd be a top-tier art project. One of my favorite things is how they gave examples of different tribes' living quarters and meeting quarters. They had them all kind of in a grouping out here, and I thought that was a nice touch. As we finish up here, this place is amazing. I didn't know what to expect when I got here. You think of the Cowboy Museum, you think of the Wild West, and certainly the Wild West is represented in this museum, but there's so much more to it. Lots of Native American history and culture, things about television and movies, and man, it's really well done. Couldn't be more happy to have visited, and I certainly would recommend anyone else to visit too.